Welcome to my channel, it's Matt the Garden and Lawn Care Guy, and today we're going to be installing a Somlos robotic lawnmower in this fantastic garden in Cheshire. So straight out the box we've got a number of different pieces, and I'm going to explain to you what each of these does and show you the installation process. This Somlos lawnmower has been given to me to show a demo installation, but I've not been paid for the video, so everything you'll see here is how I set the lawnmower up and gave it a demo. So first up, we've got some pegs in the top left, which are for screwing down the base and creating the boundary wire. In the middle, we've got the lawnmower itself, and on the right, we've got the docking station. Coming with the pack, there's also some quite detailed instructions on how to set the boundary wire for the mower. Now these machines work by following a boundary wire around the edge of your property so they know where the boundaries are, and they cut the grass within those boundaries. You can see here just an example. I've ran the boundary wire down the left hand side of the garden, but just coming up we're going to be installing that right around the perimeter. Taking a look at the machine itself, you can see this keypad at the back. You can turn the machine on and you can operate it in two different ways. It's got an app where you can connect to a Wi-Fi system and control the machine patterns, mowing days, and lots of other features through the app, or you can run it through the control pad on the back. Up at the top is the height of cut gauge, which runs from around 60mm right down to 25mm. This can be controlled by rotating the handle, and that'll set the height of cut. You also get a power supply with the dock. Now this particular power supply came with a 2-pin plug, but I know the manufacturers are working on a solution for the UK market. So the first step is I'm going to measure out a 30cm slot. The actual packaging itself comes with some templates built in, but I actually left them home in advance of this job. The next step is to look at connecting the power to the base unit. You can screw in the power cord to the back of the base unit, which fixes in, and then attach that to a waterproof socket outside. After you've set the base up, it's around connecting the boundary wire. The first part of the boundary wire goes through a little hole in the front of the base. You can slot it through, run it through the base, and then connect it into one of the terminals at the back. One of the things I noticed during the installation is it's really important which of these two terminals the boundary wire gets connected into. It's not very complicated, but it is important you put the right boundary wire in the right connecting hole, because it will determine which way the robot runs around the circuit. So the next step is around securing the base to the floor. For our demo purposes, I just picked this spot. It's a nice spot with 2 meter clearance in the front and enough space at the back for the robot to move around. So with the front of the boundary wire in and the station loosely screwed down, I'm going to start putting the boundary wire in. You can connect this roughly 30cm away from the edge, and you just put these little pegs in and run it around the boundary wire. You do also have the option to bury the boundary wire, which you can dig into the grass, but if you're doing that, just be careful around any utilities or pipework that might be running underneath it. But for the purposes of today, I'm just going to do a demo install where I'm going to peg the wire on the top of the surface. After the wire is pegged in around the whole lot of the garden, you can trim the end off and put it in the second connector slot. Now my loop's created and the robot has got a circuit where it can run round. So let's have a look at the robot itself. If I flip the robot up on the underside of the unit, there's this rotating disc. The front wheels are fully rotating and the back wheels have got these little traction spikes on them just to help it with some more rough terrain. The blades on itself look like almost little razor blades. I decided to wear gloves for the installation because they are actually really sharp. After installing the blades, it's time to put the mower in its station, and you have to reset it from the 0 position. There are a lot more advanced features on this mower which you can control through the app, but today I'm just going to show you the automatic mode that the mower comes built in with, where you don't need the app or Wi-Fi, you can run it straight out the docking station. So in here, I open up the back of the unit using the stop button and I set the mower to find its home position. After the mower has found its home position, I've selected the automatic cutting schedule, which just means the robot will bounce off the wire in random motion and over time cut the grass. One of the things I noticed is the robot itself is really quiet. It's quite slow and it just moves its way through the garden, cutting the grass at different passes. You can set this mower to run up and down in a vertical motion and do other patterns such as zigzags, but for here we've got it in random. What the mower does is it just cuts through the blades, hits the boundary wire and then comes off the boundary wire at a random angle. I did try to test this with a number of different things, and you can see here, for example, a clothesline port in the middle of the garden, and I also put some plant pots and other obstacles. So if you had obstacles in the garden, this will work fine. What it tends to do is it bumps into the obstacle, realises an obstacle there, and then turns around and carries on in a different direction. So in terms of the mower specifications, let's have a look at what it can do. This model is actually the Somlos G1 robot lawnmower. There's a new and upgraded version, which is the G1S, with some improved capabilities, such as the roll sensor for more rugged terrain. This particular unit comes in two different battery sizes for 1,000 square meters and 2,000 square meters. It's really targeting those larger lawns. This particular lawn that I've put it on is a small lawn, but it can go right the way up to 2,000 square meters. And the cutting height ranges from 2.5 centimeters or 25 mil to 55 mil. The working time is 1.5 to 3 hours depending on your battery size, and it takes around 2 to 3 hours to create a full charge. So let's take a look at some of the results. I was actually really surprised with the overall results that this machine put on the lawn. It did a good job, it did what it was supposed to do, and it cut the lawn just taking a fine little slither off the blades, and all the debris that it cuts off just drops back into the lawn and almost acts as a fertiliser. It took me a little bit of time to work out how to set it up properly, but as you've seen in the video, once I got going, the whole system was up and running in around half an hour. I've only really just scratched the surface of this mower. There's loads of extra features such as mowing in the different directions and more features on the app. So if you'd like me to do some more videos explaining some of the different features and perhaps showing a time lapse of the machine running, then please give me a thumbs up to this video because it helps me know that this is good content and you'd like me to make more of it. There's one last thing I would ask, if you can please leave me a comment in the description below. Do you think there's a place in today's market for robot lawnmowers, or do you think we should all stick to manual machines? And can you think of any pros and cons which each machine might have to the different types of users? If you'd like to find out any more about the Somlos equipment, I've left a link in the description section below where you can go and find some more information about their products